Hello and welcome to my video for the top 10 David Attenborough series of all time. So this is obviously in honour of his 100th birthday, and it should be up on that day as well. On one hand, I could have done the top 10 most iconic, most influential series of all time that he's done, or I could go down the completely biased one, and that is just my top 10 favourite. And I've decided to do that. So yeah, this is obviously a completely biased list. There is a mixture of series that Attenborough was heavily involved in, series he presented and created, and series that he just narrated like most of the modern ones. And without further ado, here is the top 10 list. So number 10, I have Life on Earth. So Life on Earth is a series that put him on the map for a lot of people back in 1979. And Life on Earth is a pretty great series. It basically charts the story of evolution and natural selection from the first life to humans. And it's a pretty great series. It is maybe a bit dated by today. Certainly there's been better footage filmed, and some of the information doesn't quite hold up. Unlike other series like The Living Planet, which is a format that's been used for the vast majority of series since Planet Earth, and it has definitely been surpassed in that sense. This series has never really been duplicated, and therefore it's never really been surpassed. I don't think there's another series that deals with the story of evolution in any way like this, and it also was very revolutionary for the time. It basically completely changed wildlife filmmaking forever. Pretty much every series that came after it owes some debt to this series for kind of paving the way for it. A lot of them were by David Attenborough as well, and also it's got that really iconic footage of Attenborough playing with the gorillas, which is always a good thing. So yeah, this is number 10, and it's a very good series. You should definitely watch it. And number 9, I have Frozen Planet. Frozen Planet is just quite comforting, I think, because this series follows the seasons, and therefore it tends to deal with the same animals in every episode, like polar bears pop up in every episode, Adelie penguins do. So you kind of feel like you're following their stories over the course of the year, which is something that no other series apart from Life in the Freezer ever did, and this series did it better. It's just really good, and there's a lot of great sequences in it as well. You've also got the first time that orcas wave washing seals was ever filmed in one of these series, and also the really brutal sequence of the wolves and the bison in northern Canada. So this is a really good series. While it's quite comforting, there's a lot of quite bleak stuff in here as well, and I feel like the series does get darker the more it goes on as you get into more forbidding seasons like winter. So yeah, this is a really good one, a really good series. And number 8, I've got The Hunt. The Hunt is a great series. The Hunt is probably, I'd say, one of the most underrated ones, but actually I don't know if it is, because most people I know that really like these series think The Hunt is one of the best ones. So maybe that's just a universal thing, but The Hunt is great. It's very well filmed. The filmmaking in this series is pretty spot on. It's some of the best you've ever seen. It's got some of the best polar bear sequences I've ever seen. Considering polar bears pop up in so many of these series, that's no mean feat. It's also got the best music in any of these series. It's a series about the hunt. It doesn't deal with animals killing each other so much, which was one of the things that people complained about at the time when it was announced. It very much deals with the hunt, which is probably the most interesting aspect of animal behaviour. It's really interesting, and yeah, this series does a really good job of showcasing it. So yeah, I really like that. And number 7, I've got Life in Cold Blood. So Life in Cold Blood basically just details the lives of amphibians and reptiles, mostly reptiles, and this series was pretty much tailor-made for me. When I was a kid, I really liked reptiles. And there's only 5 episodes in this series, but every episode is a pretty perfect version of what it could be. Like, every aspect of their lives are showcased in a pretty great way, and it's just pretty great. I really like it, and it actually contains the first time that a snake hunt was ever filmed, so, you know, that's pretty impressive as well. Number 6 is 7 Worlds, One Planet. 7 Worlds, One Planet deals with the continents. Now, for years, before the series came out, I always thought that was an avenue that they were not exploring. Like, to me, it was a pretty obvious one to deal with the continents, because you've basically got the same kind of habitats on most continents, but they've got their own individual cast of characters. This series tackles it in a pretty brilliant way. I don't think there's a series that's come after this one that's surpassed it, and it's got so many great sequences. Drone footage was used pretty spectacularly here. A really good job of balancing the spectacle of the natural world with the negative effects of the human world. There's a lot of really emotional sequences in here. The stuff with whaling, or the albatross check, or the closing montage dealing with all the animals in Africa. There's a lot of great stuff in here that really kind of moves you to tears, I think. And I think that's something that a lot of series after it have kind of tried to emulate, and they haven't done it as well as this one. I think this is a really good series, and it's, yeah, as I say, it's pretty great. Number 5, I've got The Trials of Life. The Trials of Life came out in 1990, and it deals with animal behaviour. And this series is probably technically the best series that Attenborough ever did. It was probably the first series to deal with spectacle. Well, it's definitely more educational. There was a lot of stuff in here that was filmed for the first time, like orcas beaching themselves to hunt sea lions, or chimpanzees hunting colobus monkeys, and those sequences are some of the best versions of them because they're so unpolished. I think most sequences that come out now are either in slow motion or they're very pristine. This was very gritty and very dirty, and so you kind of feel the struggle. Like the sequence with the chimpanzees hunting the colobus monkeys, I felt really bad for the colobus monkeys here, more than I do in most other series. Like, every episode that deals with a different aspect of animal behaviour uses the perfect examples to illustrate their point. The university added a module on animal behaviour. A lot of my lectures used the same examples from this series. Like, there's a couple episodes in this series that are basically a video version of some of my lectures from uni, And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in like this series did a very, very good job of honing in on the correct examples to use to really illustrate their point kind of way. And yeah, this series is great. It's pretty great. As I say, there's 4 more series that I like more than it generally, but it's probably technically the best one. In number 4, I've got Blue Planet 2. Blue Planet 2 is obviously amazing. Changed the game because it really made human impacts like a focal point of the series, but it doesn't compromise the rest of the stuff. There's a lot of great sequences in here. The deep sea stuff's the best deep sea episode I've ever seen. The underwater filmmaking's pretty much brilliant. It's definitely at its best in this series. This series did a really good job of showcasing the oceans, and it kind of makes me think that as much as I'm looking forward to Blue Planet 3, like how could it possibly surpass this? And to be honest, out with the world of wildlife filmmaking, it's probably the most important because it actually influenced policy. Number 3, I've got Africa. So this is the most recent series that I've reviewed. I went into this series kind of feeling like, okay, we've seen Africa, like it's probably of all the continents the least interesting one because we've seen it all before. This completely showed you that that wasn't the case. You're either dealing with completely new animals, ones that you don't see very often, or ones that you see a lot doing really weird stuff. Stuff like the giraffes fighting, the elephants in the drought, the penguins, like loads of stuff in here I just didn't expect to see going in. It just does a really good job of making you realise that even though you think you know everything about Africa, it's obviously the most filmed continent with regards to its wildlife, but there's so much more to see, and if there's so much more to see in Africa, just imagine what the rest of the continents are like. It's a really good series, and yeah, it's my number 3. And number 2 is the one that most people like the most, I think. It's the one that's the most critically acclaimed. It's pretty much the one that everyone thinks of when they think of Attenborough, and that's Planet Earth. Planet Earth is spectacular. Planet Earth is the best overview of the natural world, I think, of any of these series. It completely removes humans from the situation. It just shows you the natural world without our involvement, and it's not all happy. There's a lot of cases of animals ending up in peril and just not getting out of the situation because that's just what happens in real life. It feels like a very honest portrayal of the natural world as well. There's a lot of dark stuff in here, and it's quite a violent series as well, but that's very much balanced with just the beauty of the natural world. It's really, really good. You basically see every corner of the globe in this series, even ones you didn't expect to see, and it completely changed the game again with regards to wildlife filmmaking because every series after it wanted to be this big spectacle-driven show without a real clear narrative. But this series, I think, with regards to portraying the natural world in an honest way and in a very good way, did it the best, better than any of them, I think. And yeah, Planet Earth is obviously, it's most people's number 1. It's my number 2. And that's just because there's one series that I just like more. And number 1 is the series that I like the most because it's the series that got me into Attenborough. It's the first Attenborough series I ever saw when I was 6 years old. I don't think it's just nostalgia, I think it does stand the test of time, and that is The Life of Mammals. The Life of Mammals is fantastic. Not only is it about mammals, which is obviously the most well-filmed group of animals, it's obviously the most iconic ones, we're mammals. It's got the perfect balance of educational material, there's a lot of stuff to learn in here, but also spectacle. There's a lot of spectacle in here, more than there was in a lot of series up until Planet Earth, I think. The stuff with the grizzly bears, the blue whale, the elephants. There's a lot of really good stuff in here, and it doesn't just deal with the big heavy hitter mammals. Obviously, you've got your elephants, your polar bears, your blue whales, but you've also got things like babirusa, tamanduas, yapoks, animals you just don't see. The music's also great. It's just a pretty great series. Again, the reason it's number 1 is realistically nostalgia, but it is still technically a great series, and yeah, it's my favourite one, and it's one I recommend you watch. So yeah, those are my top 10 picks for the best Attenborough series. Let me know what your favourite series are. I'm sure I've missed a lot of. Planet Earth 2 is probably the big one I missed off. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. And yeah, as ever, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Or don't if you don't want to, it's perfectly fine. And I'll see you next time for whatever I'm talking about. I'll probably will do a series soon, if not another animal review. And goodbye.